make a move and the bunny gets it.
I said, put the bunny back in the box. Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
It's showtime.
Roar. Roar.
Colonel Ironsides here. 200 years I stood in the gap, fighting those who would harm my country. It was my honor, my sacred duty, so help me God. 9 times they took my life. 9 times I stood back up and made them pay. The Freedom Fighter and I could handle anything, but someone betrayed me. I was ambushed, made mortal, rendered powerless, and retired. They passed an amendment that made me a civilian before I left the hospital. For 50 years, I watched my country change. Watched this work while erasing me from history. The day I quit my job, I powered up and discovered they lied about that too. I'll remind them of freedom. I'll remind them of duty. I'll remind them of their oaths and who they serve. I'll remind them while I'm shoving it down their throats.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I wanna know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
They're coming. Get ready. We face this together, now.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night's Show. Now, usually I try to get something universal, something that's like mass media, something that everybody's heard of, or at least enough people have heard of to give me some ratings or something. But tonight, I decided I wanted to introduce a team in my universe. This is kind of like my Justice Society. This is my like the venerable team, that it's kind of like my Fantastic Four, but they're called the Freedom Five. Now, I've involved myself in this crisis project this John's Lone Box and Aaron Sparrow are organizing. Just started getting the work done. Started getting my artist is working on it. Romo Arts, also known as Ron Moziski. I think I pronounced it Mozicki. Mozicki. I'm sorry. I had an extra S in there. Anyway, so Romo's working on it. And so, very proud to be a part of the project. But the story I'm telling is actually a story from the Freedom Five. It's not from the community service group, which my comic gets its name. So, the second arc, which is coming up, they're gonna have a bigger part in, and this project I'm involved in. They're heavily involved with that one, and so I thought it'd be a good time to introduce everybody to the team, which is the Freedom Five. Okay, now let me add that. Okay, so this is the Freedom Five. Now most of you who know Ironsides probably is wondering why Ironsides seems to have hair. He seems to be in pretty decent shape. And he's like completely intact. He doesn't have the glass arm. He doesn't have the oculus over the right eye. Well, this is before the Freedom 5 days. Is before he gets the ambush that makes him into Colonel Ironsides. So this is just plain Ironsides. This is the hero that was basically put in charge of the power people of the United States by the founding fathers. So now the difference between him and the Ironsides that I've introduced so far, the kind of old man Ironsides, is he is not aging. He doesn't have the impurity or the transformed body parts that's preventing him from regenerating. So he's not aging, but he's also healing faster. The reason why they call him Ironsides is because of his denser gravity makes him more compact and heavier than normal human. So he's in the past he's taken a cannonball to the chest, and it knocked him back a few feet, but it didn't damage him, which is how he got the name Ironsides. Everybody remembered the ship that the cannonballs were bouncing off of, the USS Constitution. And so they're like, Kill Holler, the guy all the way to the right of the picture, his best friend Jack, he was the privateer upon whose ship Ironsides was, and during the Battle of 1812. And he saw him saw him up on the bulwark where cannonballs were flying, and he said, "Who do you think you are? Old Ironsides, get down." And he took the cannonball, and it bounced off, and then he's like, well, "What do I know?" And so the nickname stuck. That's where he got the name Ironsides from. Now, all the way to the left is Deadeye, a former Confederate soldier who went west after the Confederacy dissolved. Actually joined it with Custer, the 88th, and he's the only survivor of Little Bighorn. And the way he survived was there was an Indian curse called the Dead Eye that only transfers to another person upon the death of its owner, or the person who it's cursing. And that just happened to be an Indian that he managed to kill. And so the curse went on to him, which the Indians were pretty upset about. Native Americans, I'm sorry, I'll call them Native Americans. Let's be politically correct here. But so they were pretty upset about it because it gave him functional immortality, and it gave him the power of the Deadeye, which is the ability to see truth in all things. Makes him extraordinarily accurate. It also means that he can do an evaluation of a situation instantaneously, which is very handy. He also has the ability to hit any weak spot, because he can tell the truth of the composition, and so if he shoots something that seems to be at random, next thing you know, the whole thing crumbles or springs a leak or whatever. But he's also, because of his ability to see the truth in all things, he happens to be very cynical because he knows when people are lying. And everybody lies, even if it's just to themselves. And so the only person he's ever met that wasn't lying to themselves to a massive extent is Ironsides, which is why he considers him somebody worthy to follow. The guy beside of him, with the knife there, that is Sidewinder. He is he's kind of the newcomer. They had a person. They lost the Green Ghost. He stayed behind to guard a gate on the other side of the veil, and so they needed a replacement, and he's the one that the Marines sent. He has a personal force field that won't allow him to be hit. He's also really one of the greatest hand-to-hand combatants. So if you can't hit the guy, but he's very capable of hitting you, then that makes him extraordinarily dangerous. He's really massive in the plot line of the community service book because he's kind of a double agent, and you'll find that out when you read the comic. Anyway, right there, besides of Ironsides, that the black gentleman there is Black Thunder. Now, the reason I named it that way is because used to in comics, if somebody happened to be a black person, they got the name Black, like Black Thunder, is a good example of that. Black Panther, that's another example. And so I kind of use that naming convention. Now, he is not a Sonic, like Siren or Banshee or any amount of like Sonic screamers. No, he emanates sound frequency. He's a frequency generator. And so while he can like shatter glass, and he can do effects that some like Sonic screamers do, he's also capable of hitting the resonant frequency and causing an earthquake. So his power can be subaudible a lot of times, and so his powers are very different from a lot of the Sonics that I've seen out there, like Banshee or Siren or somebody like that. And the guy beside him, Jack, is Killhauler. Killhauler has the ability to create hard water constructs, kind of like a lot like a Green Lantern, except he uses water. And so depending on the amount of water he has access to is depending on the size of the construct that he can create. And so he doesn't look like he'd be one of the more powerful ones, but you put him near a body of water, and he was formerly mistaken as a god for a reason. He's a son of Poseidon. He's been around a long, long time. And Jack, Ironsides considers Jack his best friend. So that is a overview of the Freedom 5. So let's this is all generated by Grok. Using a lot of character sketches and a lot of character generation that I've had actual artists do. So let's go and let's look a little bit closer. Individuals. So starting with Black Thunder. Black Thunder is the only one that now Ironsides can fly. Well, he can't fly, but he can jump massive distances because his ability to change his personal gravity field. And if you lower gravity and you're already super strong, then you can jump vast distances. But our Black Thunder can actually fly. His son, who's in the community service books, Black Jack, he actually can fly also. He took after his father in that. Well, Black Thunder is considered one of the better flyers of the superheroes. Sound waves are basically around us all every day, and he has the ability to ride those. Now, so I made this. I kind of like styled his cape, kind of after, the Banshee. It just, I've always liked that design. But instead of the sound waves, I did like they were emanating from him, so it's a little bit different. Here's a steel. But that gives a better example of how his power works. Because he's not screaming, he's generating sound. He's essentially a sound generator. That is his power. And everything operates at a frequency of sound. And if you can figure out the frequency at which something is vibrating, because everything's vibrating, everything around us is vibrating. But if you can figure out the frequency something's vibrating at, you can cancel the frequency, or you can cause it to absolutely crack. So his power, while it's not as loud as you see Banshee or Siren or somebody a sonic screamer, he might be more powerful because he's able to just basically flood the zone with frequencies until he finds the right one. And so, and he can be very stealth with that. You could be standing there talking to you, and all of a sudden the building starts shaking. But that's he's also very acerbic. He has a very negative, very black pilled, I guess you would say, modern term. But he happens to be very suspicious. He never takes anybody at their word, and that includes Ironsides. And so his attitude towards Ironsides is not that Ironsides is a honorable man. It's that Ironsides just happens to be somebody that he hasn't figured out yet what he's really after. And so it makes it a very difficult guy to deal with, to interact with. He's got two twin sons. The Elijah and Eli. When Elijah becomes White Noise, and Elisha becomes Blackjack. And so they're one's a villain, one's a good guy. You'll have to buy my comics to figure out which one. But it's very cool. Very cool character. One of my favorite power sets that I've ever come up with. So next, Deadeye. Okay. Now I told you a little bit about how his power works. But he's kind of a gunslinger. He kind of like he operates two Colt Navy pistols. They're they're old. They're out of date, but he's not much into he knows the truth of these guns, and he knows that they're reliable. And so because he's all about the truth, he tends to stick with the things that he knows. Now he's hard to get along with too, but it's because, can you imagine dealing with somebody who always knows if you're lying or not? And that includes lying to yourself, and which you might not be aware of. John's Lone Box. Hey, John, good to see you, man. But he's definitely one of my favorite characters. But the power that he has, it's kind of hard to define. It's kind of like one of the luck powers, kind of like somebody like Domino, or it's not Shatterstar. It's the other guy from the Mojo verse. Long Shot. Okay. So his powers work is kind of different, kind of hard to define a little bit. But truth is a very powerful thing, and somebody who can see the absolute truth in all things is not somebody that you take lightly. So that is his power. I did do a generation on him too. Whoop, hold on. Let me back it up. Now the problem is I can never get Grok to do the guns right. I think there might be something that prevents that. And the guns aren't quite right. Those aren't Colt Navies. I try to get them to generate the right weapons, but I never could get it to do it. But those are old Colt revolvers, and so that's as close as I could get. And it didn't. I never could get it to do the cross draw. So anyway, that is Anderson Carter, otherwise known as Deadeye. Okay, next guy. Now, this is one of my villains. He's going to be the big bad in the Crisis Project. This is Iron Nail. Now, Iron Nail is a cult leader. Hold on. Where is the... Hold on. Be fine. There it is. Okay. Now, Iron Nail is a cult leader. Now, in the Crisis event, he is minor. He's kind of a minor threat. And so they don't really sweat him too much. But then suddenly, he starts draining followers left and right and becoming very, very powerful out of the blue. And so that's how they know that something's seriously wrong with the world. And so my Crisis story is about them taking this guy out. Because he's draining followers. He has a iron spike that he carries with him everywhere. I never could get Grok to do the spike right, but he has an iron spike that he says is a nail from the crucifixion of Christ. There's no way of determining that, but he believes that that his possession of the spike gives him a Christological authority. He believes that that the power of Christ has been transferred to him somewhat, and so That's he basically uses that as an excuse to drain his followers, but up to now, his draining of his followers hasn't been fatal. But suddenly it becomes fatal, and so they have to take this guy down. So that's my story in the crisis. All right, let's see. Let me go back to. All right. Okay. So, young Ironsides. Now, like I said, he has personal power field, a gravitational field. Makes him very dense. Makes him stronger than human. Because if you have a denser musculature, you can definitely carry. It allows you to carry more weight. People who have dense have a lot of muscle or very heavy, even if it's not fat, but they tend to be very heavy people. But his is because his personal gravity field is like way more denser than human. So, yeah, he is essentially bulletproof, but he's not technically like armored, except the suit he wears is one of the Argonaut armors, which does act as armor. But so this is young Ironsides. I did a kind of did a animation from Grok. Now, if you're wondering how does that guy become the older guy later, I did an animation of that. So it's the same guy, just younger. But this is before he started aging and becoming Colonel Ironsides, the venerable hero of our community service. He was younger. He was young Ironsides. He was technically immortal, except that he could be killed, and he's been up to he became up until the ambush. He had been killed 9 different times and come back. And every time he's come back, he's a slightly different human than the one that died. And so he's been reset like 9 times, but this last time is the longest he's ever been the same guy. Because he can't come back now. At least that's the theory. And so, because of the crystal that's kind of like transformed part of his body is compromised his regeneration, and so now he's aging slow, but he is aging now, and so he's now not immortal anymore, but that doesn't stop him from being a hero. That's something very aspirational I love about Ironsides. Okay, this is Kill Holler. Like I said, he is a former Greek god, the son of Poseidon. It's been around a long time. It goes by Jack. That's the only name he ever gives is Jack. So he comes from an era where, from a different naming convention, but he just goes by Jack. Anyway, but his powers are very cool. I've had people think that the way his power works is that he freezes the water, but that's not how his power works. The water just takes on solid form. He can turn water into solid. But but he can shape it into whatever form because it's water. And so he can shape it into whatever form he decides, and then freeze it into place. So he can create entire, like one point, he creates a dome to protect a place that he's at from an army coming in. But his power's not, it causes him to expand energy, and so he can only keep it up as long as he has the energy to do it. And so, but he's a very powerful ally. His knowledge, he has a lot of resources because he's been alive so long, and any ship that has ever been wrecked, he can recover. And he has recovered ships and salvaged them, put them under different names, and resold them. And that's how he's made his money. And he owns an island, so he's pretty wealthy, well off. But it's not because he sees himself as wealthy, because he doesn't view money like we do. He's been around so long that money's kind of become irrelevant. He's accrued it, but he's only accrued it because he has things that he wants to accomplish. But he's lived as in all the years that he's been alive, he's lived as a pauper. He's lived as a prince. He's been worshipped as a god. He's been despised. So you live as long as this individual has lived, then you get to where nothing really phases you, nothing really surprises you, and you don't care anymore. Now but he does care about people, because people is the only thing that matter. Things and objects and like politics and things like that are transient, but people matter, and so that's what makes him a hero. That's why he protects people, because they're the only commodity that humanity really has. But here's I did a rock animation of him, so here it goes. Didn't really quite capture his ability to make shapes out of water. And Grok just could not understand. Could not understand what I was trying to get at. But he's just a really cool character. Really, I love writing Jack. Jack tends to be very sarcastic. He thinks that Kieran Quinn, Ironsides, is the only true hero he's ever met, and so he is willing to follow him wherever he has to go. And so that makes Jack very loyal, very good ally. But the times of the community service books, he's got a price on his head. He's being hunted. They're trying to figure out where all of the weaponry and all of the artifacts that were collected by the Freedom Five over the years disappeared out of the Rotunda, which was their headquarters, and they believe he has them somewhere. Spoiler, he does. And so by the time the community service rolls around, the time of the first book, or the book series, he is actually a fugitive, so he can't really participate. He can't really help Ironsides out. So, but he is in the first book. He does participate later on, but just one of my favorite characters I've ever made. So I really love Jack. All right, next is Mr. MacGuffin. Okay, now the Crisis Project needed a kind of is like a multiverse thing, and I just happen to have a guy who keeps his eyes on the multiverse, but he basically he's a specialist to the community service world, and that's his only concern is taking care of that world. But if something multiversal affects it, then he gets involved. But he is an immortal. This dude right here, he's really slick. He has this right here is the crystal skull technology, which is allows him to interface with any technology around him and override it. Not even sure how it works. Or at least I don't know how it works because Mr. MacGuffin is pretty much a mystery to me, which is what makes him cool. But he's also a way to break the fourth wall and to get information to people, which is what he was created initially to do. But he's kind of like gotten done his own programming, so I'm not really sure what he is at this point. Did a I thought I did a live action of him. Let me see. That's Iron Nail there. Okay, I must not have uploaded it. But here's the last guy, Sidewinder. The Sidewinder, he's the newest member of the Freedom Five. He came in after Green Ghost sacrificed himself protecting a gate on to another world. So basically, he's kind of like the newbie, but he winds up being very vital to the first arc of the community service series, and I don't want to say much more than that. But he's a hand-to-hand combatant who has a personal force field that protects him from being hit. But at the same time, it's not unlimited. So if too many things come at him at one time, the force field like only resists one thing at a time, and so he's got to be very careful how he operates it. I did an animation of him. Let's see. This is Mr. MacGuffin. This is my live action Mr. MacGuffin. I knew he was somewhere. So that's his watch. He reads the universe. Let's see. Self-assured smile. Here is the Crystal Skull technology king. He's just a cool dude. He's one of my favorites that I've ever created. But or did I create him? I really don't know at this point. But he is just a really cool dude. Let's see. All right, that's the poster for Ironsides. Let me see. Let me back it up here. I thought I had an animation for Sidewinder. Okay. All right. I guess I didn't get it in here. This is the cover poster. That's my primary cover. But it has Ironsides on it. But I kind of had Grok kind of like replaced the old Ironsides with the young one. Just as kind of like just an exercise. I'm pretty sure I had a Sidewinder somewhere. Let me cycle back through here. I'm pretty sure I had that Sidewinder somewhere. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. I may have forgotten to upload it. Yeah, looks like I did. Okay. All right. Looks like I forgot to upload it. Okay. Anyway, so that's primary team in my community service universe. There's a scene in my sample comic that the link is in the chat and it's also in the description. But there's a scene in it between Ironsides, Colonel Ironsides, and Sidewinder, not Sidewinder, but Keelhauler. That's that is worth a read if you're wondering how they interact with one another. But anyway, so I decided to kind of introduce you guys to these guys. I've just been since I've been doing this crisis thing, I've been doing a lot of writing with these characters involved. And so I didn't really have a topic for today, but I've been so immersed with these guys that I was like, it's time to introduce them. But anyway, if you ever have any questions about these guys, or if you want to just tell me that you think they're cool, or if you think they're derivative, or if you think they're boring, just give me some feedback on them. I'd love to hear anything you have to say. Now, I do think that they're cool. I do think they have neat backstories, and I do think that their power sets are unique in comics, and that's deliberate. I spent a lot of time thinking about, everybody has like a speedster, and I do have a speedster in my world, but he looks 40, but he's 20 years old because he's aging twice the speed of everybody else, but he is a speedster called Speed Zone. So anyway, he happens to be a sheriff's deputy, which is kind of where the name comes from. Sheriff being a guy by the name of Freezer Burn, so that's a thing too. But anyway, so I just if you're a writer and you're writing a comic book universe, everybody has about, if you are good, or if you really spend a lot of time in your universe, you're going to meet all sorts of different people, and everybody that I know of that's truly creative, as truly writing something unique, have about 30 or 40 characters that they could probably throw in there in any amount of time. Which is why we're talking about maybe creating a game that's going to allow people to bring some of their hero characters and play something like a role-playing game or something like that. At one point in time, me and some other people were developing one, and I actually have some of the developmental materials, and that maybe we'll get back around to it someday. It'd be really cool because everybody's got characters, man. Everybody's got a lot of characters. But I just happen to think that I have some really cool ones, and thank you for letting me share them with you today. Didn't have very many eyeballs. I didn't expect them because this is not mainstream property today. It's no really selling point. It's no lot of curbside. I just did this because I've been working with them all weekend, and I think they're cool, and I just wanted to share them with you. My audience, it might be a small audience, but it's my audience, and I love every one of you. appreciate every one of you. And if you haven't read the sample comic, it is in the chat. It is pinned. Just check it out. It's a sample, first 13 pages, I think, of the comic that's currently closing out production. We'll be into doing pre-production very shortly, and then we'll be sending it to the printer, and finally I'll be able to get this to people and get it out in the world, get some copies in my hand for sale, and all the good stuff. But anyway, but the sample comic is in the description and in the chat if you haven't read it. It also has a full comic of the original Ghost Rider I did for a project called Out of Obscurity. He's in public domain. The original Ghost Rider is in public domain, so I did a comic book character. I did a comic book story. And the project has stalled, so it may never see the light of day. I don't know. But I decided to use that put that in my sample for people's. Also, some new pages that are going to be in the comic that I haven't showed anybody yet. It's in the sample. And I also have some art that I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with yet, but it's also in the sample. Some really cool pieces that I had made. Anyway, I got one comment here. Hi all. Hey, good stuff. Good to see you, man. But hi and bye. Good stuff. I'm afraid. Sorry about that. But thank you all for coming. This has been Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. Still trying to find somebody for FMC Arena. I'm going to start advertising for that. I don't have anybody currently. Next week, on the 3rd, is going to be Immortal Rising. Well, you might be retardy. I don't know that you're tardy, but you might be retardy. I'm not sure. Anyway. Alright. But, so I don't have anybody for this Thursday. I'm looking for somebody to, to produce. Maybe a little, yeah, maybe a little. But, so I'm looking for somebody to, who want to promote to their campaign on FMC for this Thursday night. I don't currently have anybody, but I've got some feelers out. Hopefully somebody will come through. We've got 5 shows in the can so far. They've been very successful. And do not want to break the streak, so I'll be working on that. Anyway, thank you all for coming. Follow the White Rabbit, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.